Hey guys, Hops on Xbox here. Let's talk games. Today, I want to talk about the absolute lunacy surrounding the Xbox Series S with fanboys and unaccredited devs spreading misinformation about the Series S, saying it holds back the Series X and the PS5. So this all started on Twitter in regards to Gotham Knights, which is a next-gen game only, where it was revealed the game would be locked to 30 frames per second on Xbox Series X and Series S, along with the PlayStation 5, with no option of a performance mode. So naturally, this caused quite the uproar on Twitter because us who have a next-gen console and are now accustomed to having 60 FPS as the standard, with the option to play the game in fidelity mode, which is usually 30 frames per second if we please, not having 60 FPS at all has a lot of people upset because 60 FPS is supposed to be the standard of this generation. So a random developer that came out named Lee DeVonald, I don't care if I said his name wrong, came out and said that it's the Series S's fault that the game is locked to 30 FPS, and I'll go ahead and throw up some tweets right here so you can see what he said about the console. So as you can see, this developer is saying that you have to optimize the game with the lowest spec in mind, which is absolutely true, and I'm not going to dispute that at all. But he also called the Series S a potato and blames the locked performance on the Series S. So I, like many others, thought this was very unprofessional for a dev to say, especially for someone who's working on Gotham Knights that will release in a few days after making the statement. But after some investigation, we find out that this dude is not a dev working on Gotham Knights, but just a dev giving his own opinions on a game he doesn't even work on. And now his account is gone, so he took that L already, but I do want to do an analysis of what he said and what he's trying to get at. So you make a multi-platform game based on the lowest spec hardware, which is true, and the lowest spec lays out the foundation for the game, and then you build upon the game from there. Oh, I also forgot to mention that Gotham Knights was going to be released on the PS4 and Xbox One until May 26th, 2022, 6 months before release. So this game was built on the foundation of the last generation consoles. But the foundation does not determine the performance of the other machines. Otherwise, PC gaming would be pointless because there would be no performance gap. But anyways, let me go ahead and bring up a few examples. There's Doom Eternal, which is available on all consoles, with Nintendo Switch being the lowest spec. And it runs at 720p 30 FPS when docked, but it often sits around 540p, and goes as low as 360p in portable mode. So that must mean that on all the other consoles, including the Series S and PC, they're locked to 30 FPS, right? Well, of course not. Anyone with half a brain would know that's not true. The Series S runs Doom Eternal in its performance mode at 1080p, 120 frames per second, literally quadruple the performance that the Switch outputs. But let's look at something a little more recent. Overwatch 2 runs at 900p 30 FPS in docked mode on the Switch, and once again, in performance mode on the Xbox Series S, the game runs at 1080p 120 frames per second. Alright, how about something that's next gen only, like Deathloop? The Series S, being the lowest spec in this situation, at both its visual mode and quality mode, run at 1080p 60 frames per second. But that doesn't stop the Xbox Series X, the more powerful hardware, from running the game at 120 frames per second in its ultra performance mode. The lowest performing machine does not dictate the performance of the machines that are more powerful in it. The Series S is designed to keep up with the Series X in terms of performance and features, just at a lower resolution. Are there examples where the Series S struggles in performance? Yeah, but that doesn't hold back the Series X from having better performance because it's more powerful hardware and can achieve better frame rates in certain games. But it is not being shackled by the Series S. The most beautiful games that have come out in recent years, like Red Dead Redemption 2, Horizon Forbidden West, Forza Horizon 5, Cyberpunk 2077, and The Last of Us Part 2, have to run on the base PS4 and Xbox One. Now, they may not perform well on those consoles, but that doesn't stop the next-gen consoles from performing well. In situations where next-gen consoles are 30 FPS and have shaky performance, that's not the Series S holding the other consoles back. it's the game being too taxing for all the consoles, or it's just poor optimization for the devs. And we've seen multiple times this generation that the Series X will come out without a 60 FPS mode and the other consoles will have one. And then people get upset that the Series S doesn't have one. There's the uproar. And then suddenly a few weeks later, the Series S magically gets a patch that enables the 60 FPS mode. So, I personally feel that in these situations where the Series S isn't performant, it's just laziness from the devs to optimize for the console. And even then, like I've said many times in this video, shouldn't hold the Xbox Series S and the PS5 from having good performance. But that's it for me. Let me know what you think down in the comments and leave me a like to show some support. Hopping off. Peace.